Today's story is one of betrayal, disappointment, and a woman forced to question everything about her marriage, all while recovering from surgery. When you're vulnerable and need support, the last thing you'd expect is to be abandoned. But that's exactly what happened.
A 29-year-old woman finds herself at a crossroads after her husband chooses a hiking trip with his overbearing mother over supporting her during a surgery recovery. What was meant to be a moment of care and togetherness became a breaking point in their marriage, and possibly the start of a painful but necessary ending.
Our original poster, or Opie, is 29 years old and recently moved to a new state with her husband, who's 30. This move brought them closer to her side of the family. While she was getting settled into her new job and life, her new doctor recommended a surgery that would improve her health and quality of life long-term. It wasn't considered risky, but it was still serious enough to require a hospital stay. Now, let's rewind a bit. Opie's husband has always had a strangely intense dynamic with his mother. She lives on the West Coast, while Opie and her husband lived on the East Coast. Every time she visited, which was 3 or 4 times a year, she insisted her son take time off from work to entertain her. This meant using up all his paid time off for mommy time, instead of vacations or quality time with his partner. Eventually, Opie brought this up. She asked, "How are we ever supposed to go on a trip together if your time off is always used to babysit your mom?" Her husband agreed, and they managed to plan a trip to Europe in 2023. He also promised that from then on, he wouldn't take time off every time she visited. Fast forward to the present. Opie is about to have surgery. Her mother-in-law, or as Opie cheekily calls her, hag-aged female, announces she's visiting. But not just to say hi. No, she claims she's coming to help around the house, while Opie recovers. Opie is skeptical but agrees under one condition. This is not a sightseeing vacation. She's here to cook, clean, and support. She'll have time for a real visit later. Surgery day comes. Opie's husband drops her off at the hospital. Yes, drops her off. Not staying, not waiting, just drops her off. That night, the doctors say she needs to stay an extra day for monitoring. She calls her husband. No answer. She waits nothing. The next day, she's discharged and tries to call again. Straight to voicemail. She tries several times over the course of an hour. Still nothing. Eventually, she calls her sister, who drops everything, gets excused from work, and drives 90 minutes to pick her up. When she gets home, she breaks down. The house is a mess. Dirty dishes piled up, laundry baskets stacked on the table, cat litter untouched. The helpful mother-in-law hadn't done a thing. Her sister takes her home to recover in peace. That night, the husband finally calls. He says he had no idea she was discharged. He was on a hike with his mom, in an area with no cell service. You heard that right. While his wife was recovering from surgery and being discharged, he was on a mommy-son hike, paid time off and all. When Opie confronts him and says she doesn't feel safe or supported in their home, he calls her the problem. That she's being dramatic. That his mom just wanted to see the town. She's now wondering, is this a marriage worth saving?
This isn't about a missed phone call or one bad week. This is about a pattern. A man who prioritizes his mother's comfort over his wife's well-being. A man who can't even clean a house or pick up his recovering partner from the hospital. Opie is not asking for too much. She's asking for bare minimum care. And if that's too much for him, what does the future hold?
Now, moving on to what everyone had to say in the comments, and honestly, it's no surprise, people had a lot of strong feelings about this. Let's start with the top comment. Mommy's boy couldn't even be bothered to visit you in the hospital? This is definitely the hill to die on. Cut your losses and leave him to his mommy. Another person added to that same thread, and they made a really powerful point. Exactly. Didn't visit and then went out of contact when there had already been a complication. What was his plan if those labs that needed to be watched had turned into needing to contact next of kin? And following that, someone with a chronic condition shared their personal experience. I'm often in the hospital for a genetic disability and have had to have semi-frequent surgeries. More than a few have had serious complications, and I can't imagine my partner choosing to be anywhere except the hospital during those times. This man abandoned you to go picnic with his overbearing mother. I don't know you from a jar of mayonnaise, OP, but I know you deserve better. And another commenter didn't hold back either, saying, you should have asked him when he became a physician to know everything, or did his mother tell him that the procedure was simple and he took her word for it? Then they added something that really hits hard. The fact that he is choosing to be argumentative about being a POS says a lot about his character. He doesn't honor his vows to you. While you're healing at your sister's, I hope your heart also has a chance to start healing, because there's no way this doesn't hurt. And in one of the most blunt comments, someone wrote, your husband dropped you OFF? NTA. My mother had 95 surgeries in her lifetime, my dad was at the hospital for all 95. Stay at your sister's house and have her get your stuff. This is the mountain to die on. Which led to this reply. Yeah, dropped you off at the hospital? Then ditched you in the hospital for not 1 but 2 days since he didn't even realize you were out until Friday night? Now, let's take a look at what some commenters had to say, because people had thoughts. Commenter number 1 said, you are not the asshole. Mommy's boy could not even be bothered to visit you in the hospital? This is definitely the hill to die on. Cut your losses and leave him to his mommy. And then, someone replied to that comment with, exactly. He did not visit and then went out of contact after there had already been a complication. What was his plan if those lab results had gotten worse? What if the doctors had needed to contact the next of kin? To that, another person added, this. I am often in the hospital because of a genetic disability and I have had to go through many surgeries. A few of those surgeries even had serious complications. I cannot imagine my partner choosing to be anywhere else except right there in the hospital during those times. This man abandoned you just to go on a picnic with his overbearing mother. I do not know you, original poster, not even as much as a jar of mayonnaise, but I do know you deserve better. Commenter number 2 chimed in and said, you should have asked your husband when he became a physician to suddenly know everything. Or, was it just that his mother told him the procedure was simple, and he believed her? The fact that he is choosing to argue and defend being a piece of crap really says a lot about his character. And they went on to say, he has clearly forgotten who he is married to. He does not honor his vows to you. While you are healing at your sister's place, I really hope your heart also gets a chance to begin healing, because there is no way that this situation does not hurt. I wish you a speedy recovery, and, sadly, a fast divorce. Because you deserve so much better than this. Now, commenter number 3 brought up a point many people were shocked by. They said, your husband dropped you off. You are not the asshole. My mother had 95 surgeries in her lifetime, and my father was there for all 95. Stay at your sister's house and have her help you get your stuff. This is the mountain to die on. Someone replied to that comment with this. Yeah, dropped you off at the hospital? Then ditched you for 2 whole days since he did not even realize you had been discharged until Friday night? And the fact that his mother was supposedly coming to help around the house just shows that your husband probably does nothing at home anyway, or else he wouldn't need help. Ditch him. Let him move back in with mommy dearest. And finally, commenter number 4 summed it up with this powerful reminder. He left you alone in the hospital. He went somewhere without cell service even though he knew you were getting discharged. He did not call you back until that night, hours later. This man is completely ridiculous. That kind of behavior is unforgivable. Let his mom have him. You are absolutely not overreacting by thinking about divorce. And you are definitely not the asshole. So, what do you think? Was OP right to leave the house and stay with her sister? Is this marriage salvageable, or is it time for her to walk away for good? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real-life drama every week.